So he's apologizing. I'm sorry. I'm going to cancel it. You're not going to be charged.
So every big person you turn down because they can't fit in your car?
Yeah, because they need to order the Uber XL.
And I believe it's important for people who are bigger and who are taking up more space to be self-aware and allowed plaintiff to be subjected to unlawful harassment based on her weight. Harassment. That guy was not harassing you. Stress, humiliation, embarrassment, outrage, mental anguish, fear and mortification, emotional damages, economic damages. What economic damage? But your bad decisions and choices that led to this situation should not be used as a weapon to punish someone else who did nothing wrong. It's kind of funny that she says if I don't stand for something, I'll fall for anything, because she did in fact fall over just 4 or 5 days ago. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the internet where your cesspool is my jacuzzi. My name is Neidigh, host of the Quarter Random Opinion podcast, which has a whopping total of 3 episodes so far. As discussed on last night's podcast episode, a rapper from Michigan is suing Lyft because a driver canceled her ride when he said she was too heavy, too overweight to fit in the car, and said it would, possibly damage his vehicle. The rapper Dank Demoss, also known by her legal name Dejua Blanding, is nearly 500 pounds. Now, I'm not going to poke fun at her looks. I don't think it's okay to do that, but that's not what happened here. The driver handled this as kindly as possible, and he's now been named in the lawsuit as an individual, along with the company Lyft. I have here the complaint that was filed in court, and a date has been set for April. In case you haven't seen this story yet, I'm going to give you a little bit of background, and then we'll go into the complaint and read it together. So she took a video of this incident, and you can hear what the guy was saying to her.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What you saying?
Yeah, I got no space. My car is small.
I can fit in this car.
So I don't know if you can tell what he's saying. He's saying, I have no space. This car is small. And she's arguing back with him.
No, believe me, you can.
Yes, I can.
Believe me. So, I'm sorry.
What am I gonna do about my money?
I'm gonna cancel you. You're not gonna be charged.
So he's apologizing. I'm sorry. I'm gonna cancel it. You're not gonna be charged.
Telling me I can't get in the Lyft because I can't fit in your car.
Yeah, you need to order a bigger car.
What makes you think I can't fit in a car?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What makes you think I can't fit in this car?
Because the car is small in the back.
My best friend has a Biz that's newer than this that I can fit in. That's the same size.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't.
So he's apologizing multiple times. He's being as kind as possible about this, and he's just telling her the truth. You can see his car is already pretty low to the ground there, so adding an extra 500 pounds to the back may just not be a safe option.
Are you really telling me I'm too big to get in your car, so I gotta order another Lyft?
Yeah. And to be more specific with you, I got very tired tires.
So I have very tired tires, to be more specific with you. Like, she wouldn't accept no for an answer from this man. And she's continuing to pester him about it.
What I got to do with your tires?
What do I have to do with your tires? Well, if you're adding 500 pounds of weight into the back, really?
Yeah, and you have no space.
How you know I don't have no space?
Yeah, I got no space in the back.
How do you know I don't have no space?
Because I tried before.
Huh?
Because I've been in this situation.
So the driver's saying he's been in this situation before, so he knows that it won't go well if he has an extremely heavy person in the back and there's no space to really fit their body. It's not only going to be uncomfortable for the rider, but also potentially unsafe given the extra weight on the car. He's trying to explain this nicely, but she won't take this for an answer.
So every big person you turn down because they can't fit in your car?
Yeah, because they need to order the Uber XL.
So he, again, politely is explaining, you need to order an Uber XL because obviously those are bigger cars. They can, carry a heavier load and there's going to be more space for her in those cars. This is not a rude confrontation. This guy's just doing his best to be nice and professional in his capacity as a driver and not be rude to her, but actually tell her the truth about why she can't get in the car and why he can't give her the ride. Also, she says every big person you're going to cancel the ride for, but let's be honest, please. Not every big person is almost 500 pounds. And I believe it's important for people who are bigger and who are taking up more space to be self-aware of where there may be some limitations for them. A month ago, I was the heaviest I've ever been in my life, and I felt terrible. I felt like I barely ever moved my body. I was eating fast food like twice a day. It feels terrible to be this unhealthy. It feels uncomfortable to be fat. I have to get up and choose every day to make decisions that are going to make me feel healthier and more energetic, so that I'm, not so big that I can't do things that I want to do, so I can be more active, so I have more options for, what I want to do and how I want to spend my time and my life. I used to like hiking and ziplining and all kinds of things that I can't do now because I'm so out of shape and I'm so heavy. There's no way I could pull myself up the ladder to get to the fucking zipline. I don't even know what the weight burden is on that thing, right? And the last time I did a zip line, it was at the alligator farm out here. And so you zip line over a pit of alligators. So when I'm this heavy, would I really want to zip line over a pit of alligators anyways? But enough about me. My point is, this is not fair to the driver. And this person needs to understand that if she's going to remain this big and she doesn't want to do anything about her health, and she doesn't want to do anything to make her situation easier and possibly, get a little thinner, it's not the end of the world to like say to somebody, you might feel better if you're a little bit thinner. It's the truth. And I know a lot of fat activists or whatever, they don't like that. They don't like when you say that, but it is the goddamn truth. And it is delusional to think that you could be healthy at what, like 400, 500 pounds. I was almost 300 pounds a month ago, like somewhere in the 290s. And now I'm like 270 something, but still I need to take more weight off so that I can be healthier, live longer, not put so much strain on my joints, my bones when I'm moving around, be able to fit in a smaller car seat or an airplane seat comfortably without having to do one of these. And if reality isn't setting in for this woman at this moment right here, I don't know if it ever will. Because this should have been a wake-up call and a turning point. It should have been a time when she was looked back at herself and her situation and thought, wow, I really got to make a change. I really got to do better for myself so that I don't have problems like this in the future, so that I'm not embarrassed like this. Instead of having that self-reflection, instead of having that self-awareness, she chose to sue this driver individually and the company Lyft. And in the state of Michigan, you can't discriminate against someone based on weight, but I personally feel if it's going to damage your property to have an extremely obese person in your car, you shouldn't have to do it. I think there's times and places where it's important not to exclude people based on their weight, and that's a lot of times and places. However, this is not one of those times and places. And look at her caption. Am I wrong? At Lyft, what y'all got to say about this y'all driver discriminated against me? I just feel like y'all treat big people like shit, like we don't belong here. Who's treating her like shit here? Nobody's treating her like shit.
You know what? I don't never have to order Uber XL.
Yeah, no, I'm really sorry.
What's your name?
Abraham Curtis.
Okay. Nope.
And I really hope the guy didn't lose his job over this, because that's just sad. Most of the comments have been supportive of the driver, which is nice to see, except when people are being vulgar or offensive intentionally. Like I said, I don't think it's really okay to attack someone's appearance. I try not to do that personally. I slip up every now and then. I might make fun of a really eccentric person's eyeshadow. I don't know. But overall, what's important to me is someone's character. And what I'm seeing of this woman's character based on her actions from this interaction with that kind driver who is just trying to tell her the truth politely, I don't like it. And some people have said it's just a publicity stunt to further her rap career. And again, I don't like what that says about her character. So this is from the Wayne County Circuit Court. You have Miss Blanding as a plaintiff, and then, of course, Lyft down here and John Doe, the driver, are listed as the defendants. Now comes Plaintiff Tajua Blanding by and through her attorneys, Marco Law and Runyon Law Group, and for her complaint against the above-named defendant states as follows. Jurisdiction and venue. Venue is proper because defendant Lyft Incorporated systematically conducts business in Wayne County, Michigan, and the relevant transactions and occurrences occurred in Wayne County, Michigan. Then it's describing the parties, factual allegations. Defendant Lyft is a ride-sharing company that offers transportation services. Once an individual requests and pays for transportation services from defendant Lyft, Lyft assigns a driver to provide the transportation. On or about January 18, 2025, plaintiff paid defendant Lyft for transportation from her residence in Detroit, Michigan, to a football watch party at her cousin's house. Important to note here, she did not pay anything before that ride. So she didn't pay the driver who canceled the ride. She didn't pay him a cent. So if she got another Lyft or an Uber, she paid that person. But don't let it sound like he ripped her off or something, because he did not. After approximately 10 to 15 minutes, defendant John Doe arrived on behalf of defendant Lyft in a Mercedes-Benz sedan. As plaintiff attempted to enter the vehicle, defendant John Doe refused to let plaintiff enter his vehicle. Specifically, as plaintiff walked towards the vehicle, defendant John Doe locked the doors to his vehicle and attempted to drive away. Now that's not exactly what happened. I mean, he may have locked the doors because he didn't want her to get in the car, but he was sitting there trying to politely explain the situation to her and not just driving off rudely without saying anything. Plaintiff was shocked and asked defendant John Doe what he was doing. Defendant John Doe told plaintiff that he could not let her enter his vehicle. Defendant John Doe informed plaintiff that she was too big to get into his car and that he was canceling her ride. Plaintiff repeatedly asked defendant John Doe why he was not letting her get into the vehicle. Defendant John Doe stated that plaintiff could not enter his vehicle because 1, she was too big to fit in the back seat, and 2, his tires were not capable of supporting plaintiff's weight. Plaintiff informed defendant John Doe that there was plenty of room for her in the back seat and she did not require a bigger car. Defendant John Doe told plaintiff that he had this problem in the past and told plaintiff that overweight individuals must order Lyft XLs. I think he recommended it. I don't know if he said she must, but still solid advice. And again, not all overweight individuals are going to be denied riding in a smaller car. But if you are almost 500 pounds, that's a possibility. Defendant John Doe proceeded to cancel plaintiff's ride and drove off. As a result, plaintiff was unable to attend her cousin's party. She could have ordered a Lyft XL. This is bullshit. As a result of defendant's actions, plaintiff has suffered and will continue to suffer damages, including but not limited to the following: stress, humiliation, embarrassment, outrage, mental anguish, fear and mortification, emotional damages, economic damages. What economic damages? Non-economic damages, attorney's fees and costs, other damages to be discovered through the course of litigation. And what I'd say to that is, honestly, all of those damages are something she will continue to suffer as long as she refuses to do anything to take care of herself and make her own life better. I understand how hard it is. I understand that, people have different reasons for overeating and stuff like that. I know there are certain medical conditions. However, that typically is the case for a very small percentage of overweight people. And I don't believe this person is an exception to the rule. It's rough out here. I get it. Changing your habits is hard. But your bad decisions and choices that led to this situation should not be used as a weapon to punish someone else who did nothing wrong. Count 1, violation of Michigan Elliott Larson Civil Rights Act, public accommodation, hostile environment. Hostile. Plaintiff realleges and incorporates by reference the foregoing paragraphs as if fully set forth herein. At all material times, defendants offered a public accommodation covered by and within the meaning of the Michigan Elliott Larson Civil Rights Act, MCL. Plaintiff's weight was at least one factor that made a difference in defendant's treatment of plaintiff and subjected her to a hostile environment. There was nothing hostile about that exchange. I know that's the legal verbiage, but there was nothing hostile about that. Defendant's acts and omissions constitute weight harassment and violate plaintiff's rights under the ELCRA MCL by subjecting plaintiff to unwelcome conduct based on her weight. Defendant Lyft, through its agents, representative, and employees, discriminated against plaintiff based on her weight and acted in accordance with that predisposition. Defendant Lyft, through its agents, representatives, and employees, unlawfully discriminated against plaintiff based on her weight, treated her differently from similarly situated individuals based on weight, and allowed plaintiff to be subjected to unlawful harassment based on her weight. Harassment. That guy was not harassing you. Defendant's actions were intentional and in disregard for plaintiff's rights and sensibilities. As a direct and proximate result of defendant's unlawful actions, plaintiff has sustained and continues to sustain injuries and damages. Injuries and damages, really, because you were too fat to fit in someone's car. All the damages here and all the injuries, you're doing it to yourself. It pisses me off that someone would do this. I can have a lot of empathy for someone who struggles with weight because I do too, but it is not okay to punish other people for the situations you put yourself in. Wherefore, plaintiff respectfully requests that this honorable court enter judgment on plaintiff's claims in a sum that the court or jury find to be fair and just, including attorney fees, costs, and exemplary damages. Count 2, violation of Michigan's Elliott Larson Civil Rights Act, public accommodation. At all material times, defendants offered a public accommodation covered by and within the meaning of the Michigan Elliott Larson Civil Rights Act, MCL. Defendant Lyft is vicariously liable for the violation of plaintiff's rights under the Michigan Elliott Larson Civil Rights Act by its employees and agents under the doctrine of respondeat superior. Plaintiff's weight was a factor that made a difference in defendant's treatment of plaintiff. Defendant Lyft, through its agents, representatives, and employees, was predisposed to discriminate on the basis of weight, and acted in accordance with that predisposition. Defendant Lyft, through its agents, representatives, and employees, treated plaintiff differently from similarly situated individuals based on the unlawful considerations of weight. Defendant's actions were willful, intentional, and/or made in reckless disregard of plaintiff's rights and sensibilities. As a result of said disregard of plaintiff's rights and sensibilities, plaintiff was unjustly denied a ride. As a direct and proximate result of defendant's unlawful actions, plaintiff has sustained and continues to sustain injuries and damages. Now, since she's gone public with this lawsuit, this is what she's posted to Instagram. Her caption here says, "If I don't stand for something, I'll fall for anything. Thank you to my lawyers, Marco and Zach Runyon, fighting for my community, my people, and making change to the world, not just for me, but everyone. Thank you to my team and all the support I'm getting." Honestly, what positive change is going to come from this, other than you forcing yourself on people when you might seriously damage their personal property that they need to do their job and make a living? You're an asshole. Not to mention, it's kind of funny that she says, "If I don't stand for something, I'll fall for anything," because she did, in fact, fall over just 4 or 5 days ago. You can see when she's trying to get up how her weight is holding her back, and she literally falls backwards. This is what I'm talking about. It's not about how you look. It's about having a healthy body and being able to function. And if you're so big you can't do the things you want to do, or even something as simply as standing up, it is time to make a change. Not to sue other people over it. Like I said, there's a court date in April, so I'll continue to follow along if and when more becomes available. You guys will have to tell me in the comments below, who do you think was in the right here? The driver or the rapper? Thanks everyone for watching. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.